Hello, Flirties, and welcome to this brand new episode of Flirtations, the conversation I have for you today all about the subconscious mind and how we can rewire our subconscious mind by reprogramming our limiting beliefs. That's right, we're turning the I can'ts into I cans. We're turning the I coulds and I shoulds into I am and I will. I know you're not going anywhere. If you ever struggle with this episode is for you. The guest I have for you is Natalie Stavola, an incredible interview coming your way. But before we get there, I gotta thank you. Thank you so much for being here, for listening, for tuning in, for streaming, wherever you are. I really appreciate you being a part of this show that is Flirtations. Thank you. I see you. I hope you get a lot of good value and insight out of these conversations. I love creating them and bringing them into the world for you. So thank you so much for being here. Please rate, review, subscribe to the show if you haven't already. If you have, thank you. And last request I have here at the top of the show is to share this episode or another favorite episode of Flirtations with someone you want to share some BFE, big flirt energy with. All right, I've checked all my boxes here for the intro to the intro. Now let's get into the full conversation with Natalie Stavola coming next. Coming up on this episode of Flirtations, we're going straight to the source of transformation, the subconscious mind. Joining us for this conversation is Natalie Stavola, certified hypnotherapist, coach, author, and speaker with a deeply personal story of healing from addiction and self-sabotage to empowerment and purpose. Natalie helps people rewire limiting beliefs, release emotional blocks, and rebuild the self-trust needed to experience relationships based on truth rather than pain. Inside the episode, we'll learn why your subconscious mind might be the very thing keeping you from what you want and how our earliest programming creates the beliefs we carry into adulthood. We're talking about what it means to date while stuck in survival mode, how shame and self-doubt can sabotage connection, how to identify our limiting beliefs, and finally, how to reprogram them. If you're ready to stop asking all the questions and instead start listening to yourself again, this one is for you. Let's do this, flirties, and meet Natalie.
I heard you wanted to flirt. I heard you wanted to flirt. I heard you wanted to flirt. Hello, my name is Benjamin. I'm the flirt coach and a gay Libra. Everyone has an inner flirt.
Hey, flirty.
Live, laugh, flirt.
Work the flirt.
Work the flirt. Delulu is the Salulu. Expert on the flirt.
Hey, flirty. There's always another flirt.
Everyone has an inner flirt. Get out of your head and into the flirt.
Flirties, on the show today is Natalie Stavola. Natalie is a certified hypnotherapist, author, coach, and speaker with a background in comedy and film, with her own healing journey from addiction to empowerment, fueling her work today, helping people reprogram their subconscious minds and build the emotional resilience needed for real transformation, especially in relationships. Natalie is here to have a conversation with us about rewiring limiting beliefs, releasing emotional blocks, and finally stepping into our full worth and potential. Hello, Natalie, and welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on Flirtations today. I'm excited to chat with you, get to know you a little bit more, and talk about the subconscious mind, limiting beliefs, self-doubt, all the things that all the daters and the flirties have questions about.
Oh my gosh, yes, right? I know. I remember when I did, and
Yes.
I learned more when I actually started coaching. I was like, wait, what? This
Right.
is how you do it? This is
Yeah.
why I'm choosing this?
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Which is a perfect, I swear, I love when we have these conversations and I get those layups right into the next question.
Yes.
Which is, because I want to hear a little bit more about you and your coaching journey. And I'm curious if you have this experience that I feel like a lot of coaches have, where we initially found our way into this career to help ourselves.
Yeah. Yes. 1000%.
Yeah.
I'm a filmmaker. I grew up, always wanted to do filmmaking, but that wasn't exactly, something that was encouraged in my family because, the families back in the day were like, you're going to be broke and, you should do something. You should be a lawyer or a doctor. And I was like, best I got a psychology degree.
Yeah.
So I actually went to school, got my psychology degree. I studied like propaganda and media, came out with psychology and communications, was double major with criminology, was studying the rate of recidivism. And I was just fascinated by human behavior.
Yes.
And then mental health, why why do we behave a certain way? Why do we have incarceration rates? Why are people hurting? Because I was very sensitive as a kid. I saw pain. I saw things as a kid, and I was like, oh, I don't like this. What is this? And that was just indicative of myself. Graduated, jumped into filmmaking, but was always helping people. Was always that like, but I couldn't help myself.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like that's a lot of coaches.
Yeah.
I can help you. I could put you first all day long. But when it comes to me, I'm a curled up mess.
Yeah.
So
do as I do, not as I, or do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, exactly. Do as I say. And so I was battling with drugs and alcohol. It got worse. I'm an alcoholic. I've been 8 years clean and sober now. So I didn't know that like sometimes some things just aren't you. It's just like there's something in you that you just have to deal with. So eventually hit my bottom, got sober, and really started the journey on healing myself, on really taking a look at accountability for my life and how I manage things, and then rewiring my brain.
Yeah.
And then, at the same time, I took a break from the film industry and I was like, okay, I've got to clear my mind. I need to handle my trauma. So I wound up deciding potentially to go back to school, but it made me really sad inside because that would have taken me away from filmmaking. That would have taken up, because if you go back for your master's and your PhD, you're there for a while and you've got to do double the work. And that made me sad. And then someone came in and just gave me this brilliant iota of truth that just completely transformed everything. And she was like, if you're thinking about doing something, but it makes you sad, that's not actually what you're supposed to be doing. I was like, wait, what? And so I was like, all right, universe, I obviously don't know what I want or need. I'm just going to keep putting out resumes and you show me.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm just letting go, because when I rush and I push, I keep messing my things up and winding up in financial insecurity and financial debt. So, universe, take the wheel. And then I got a phone call and a friend of mine was like, hey, we have a mutual friend. She's a dating coach for men. I think you guys would be a good match. And I felt it in my stomach. I was like, ooh, this.
Okay.
Did that, worked with her, and then eventually started my own company.
Yes. Amazing. I have so many follow-up questions. One here is, you mentioned in your childhood being very deeply feeling, right? I think a lot of the flirties, maybe they've heard the words empath or highly sensitive, deeply feeling. And so I want to hear a little bit more about that experience, and then tying it to adulthood as well, having this experience as an adult where sometimes we shy away from our feelings, right?
Oh my gosh, right?
Maybe how those two experiences are connected.
Yes. So what I believe and what I try and help people see is that everything of how we were born and what we've gone through, although it's not okay and it's not like great and it's not your fault, but we do go through our journey. And when we can heal from it, it will make you uniquely qualified to be very successful in a particular area, or really overcome your hero's journey in order to like find the right people and feel so accomplished and loved and wonderful, and we don't get out of life. Like there's really no one that's got everything handed to them and didn't struggle in some way. So even those with a silver spoon are still going to have to go through something, right? So for me and my journey, I was sensitive, very, very sensitive as a kid. It's my superpower today. I'm HSP, highly sensitive person. Took all of those kinds of tests. There's like 17% of the population. So for me, like coffee can make me super jittery, but I'm addicted. So we do it anyway.
Let me raise a glass. Or a mug. I got mine right here as well. Here we go.
I know I've got to do double meditation and lower my heart rate, but
and what does yours say, Natalie? Your mug. I love it.
Love, inspire.
Okay.
And I got it out of, what does yours say?
Shout out to my friend Dalen who gave this to me. It says, "You're doing great, sweetie."
I need the cup.
So good. Yeah.
I've got a Baby Yoda one that's usually my go-to, especially when I'm on Zooms. That's my, I've all my mugs. So I could feel things like I did grow up in an environment where there was a little bit of chaos. There was a lot of fighting. We're Irish Italian. The F-bomb is our love language. And so for me, I had to learn how to just go into myself and have a shell. And growing up, because of that, I picked a lot of really toxic, rough, around the edge individuals where if you didn't put yourself down and make fun of yourself, you had 5 other people around you that were about to do that and cut you. And I'm tiny and small, so I had to learn how to be quick with my words and destroy fast so that you couldn't get to me first. It hurt me over the years, but in unsafe environments and in toxic environments, the only way to survive toxic environments is to be toxic, right? Yeah. That's why when we get out of it, if you don't learn how to heal, you're going to stay toxic and then get around more toxic people. That's very big in dating. So for me, though, it's like that sensitive little girl would not have survived this world because I am an artist. I was a published writer and poet at the age of 12, but it was it was because my cousin passed away and I wrote about her, and then it got published and getting interviewed on PBS when really I just need a hug. There was so many things, but I needed to know what it looked like and felt like to have a shell up, to be able to have a guard, to be able to have a sword that I can wield. It's just now I don't hurt myself with that sword anymore. So, going through college, going through everything, learning how to get back to vulnerability. So vulnerability is one of my all-time superpowers today, because now today it's like, look, if I need to quip and joke around and like move through some things. So it's that ability to like, our superpower is the ability to be able to see people and feel. And that, the things that we've gone through also allow us to release it or to overcome it too, and to see another day. So that's, everything I've been through has helped me with today.
So good. And I know the flirties will relate to a lot of that as well, where it's like one thing I've learned doing the show and doing my flirt coaching stuff is that a lot of the behaviors that we take on, we adapt and we adopt as kids, as adolescents, to protect ourselves, whether it's being able to use our words. It could be people pleasing. That's a huge one. For a period of time as a kid, we needed that, right?
Yeah, it's survival.
Exactly. But then as we grow up and we become adults and we're starting to make connections and relationships and date, all of a sudden these things that were useful, that were beneficial, that helped us in our adolescence and our childhood don't really serve us in the same ways as adults. And so it's just sort of, as we get into the conversation more about the subconscious mind and rewiring our limiting beliefs, just rewiring our subconscious patterns of thought and behavior, this is going to be part of it. And also what you mentioned, I love that sometimes what we perceive as we feel might be a weakness, like being highly sensitive, being an empath, like that's a superpower to me too. Yeah.
Such a superpower. Usually empaths, and a lot of people know this, we have a tendency to get with like really toxic people, right? Because especially anyone on the narcissistic scale. And the reason why is because they watch us move through a room and we naturally connect with people, and that makes them very jealous and insecure. And but they want what we have. So they mirror us to us. So for anyone listening, if you've ever fallen in love with a narcissist, really, that's just means that you fell in love with yourself, which is a good thing. You fell in love with the parts of you that they were reflecting. So continue to do that. Continue to see how you are good enough. And that'll move you away from that faster. But once you heal from the abuse and once you heal from the negative voices in your head, you become like a human lie detector test. Empathy is, it makes us excellent coaches. It makes us excellent leaders. It makes us excellent advisors. It makes us amazing artists. Because now you can be around all of the different personalities and toxicities or whatever, and you're not going to destroy your life over it. You're not going to go to that dark place and like mess everything up. You're just like, it's a Tuesday.
Yeah, your ability to show vulnerability and be honest and truthful with yourself means that you're not going to hold back, right? You're not going to play it cool. You're not going to tiptoe around the hard conversation. You're not going to ignore conflict. You're not going to allow yourself, and I know I hear this all the time, well, I don't want to be taken advantage of, right? Emotionally, physically. I don't want to give my heart to someone who doesn't have the same intentions as me. I don't want to waste my time. And I get that. By accident,
when you stay in that mind frame, though, and that frame of mind and those limiting beliefs, by accident, you'll keep picking people who are a waste of your time.
Yeah. And a part of dating is data-ing, right?
I love that.
It's going to be a little bit of a process and trial and error. You're not necessarily going to know on a first date, on a first match, a first conversation, whether someone is the one, so to speak. Like,
and you don't even want to. You're just having fun. Do I like this person?
Absolutely.
Do we have a good time?
Yeah.
And there's some things that you can tell in the beginning, like if they tell you flat out in the beginning, which a lot of people always glaze over, is if they're like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I just got out of a relationship. I'm still dating someone. I'm still in a relationship. I'm only separated. I'm still married. I don't want anything serious. I'm only looking for casual.
Yeah.
Those are like, it doesn't matter if you guys have an amazing time together. And even though if you didn't do anything wrong, you just dated people that weren't great to you or weren't great for you, you still need to grieve and release and do the things. Ooh, it can take a month. It can take 3 months.
Okay, let's stay here for a moment and come back to something you said earlier about that sometimes we as coaches, right, do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. Like, how is it even in dating and relationships, we seem to know what's best for other people? Maybe we see like the writing on the wall for our friend, right? A family member, a neighbor. You're like, God, get out of that relationship already. What are you doing? And then when it comes to our own love lives, we tend to make perhaps the same mistakes over and over. We can't actually take our own advice. What's that about?
Oh my God. I used to do that for years. I just posted about it. Someone gave me a big compliment. They were like, why, Natalie, why do you keep getting hotter and more amazing as you?
I saw that video, and let me say, yes.
And I was like, I started taking my own advice. Sometimes I've got a 30-day coaching program, or 90-day, excuse me. I've got a 30-day too, but I got a 90-day coaching program from Toxic to Triumph. And every now and again, I'll bring myself back through my own program.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, this shit
works. Yeah.
It works if you work it.
That's right.
But I'll say this. We have our own limiting beliefs and we need our coaches. I can't do to myself what I can do to others because I can't always jump back into my subconscious mind and delineate between a negative voice and a negative programming versus intuition. This was one block that I had that was really interesting that I didn't figure out for a while, and then I finally did.
Okay.
I was secretly scared for a long time that because I knew the answers and I knew the hacks to your brain, that it wouldn't work for me. I had to undo that. I had to go. I was keeping myself stuck and in repeat patterns, even in 12-step programs, right? I'm a big advocate for 12-step programs. There's so many 12-step programs. So you can get a lot of things for free. You can do 12 steps for free, which is a big, like almost like coaching. But in it, they talk about when that person, like your sponsor, isn't there for you to give advice, you pick up the phone and they can't, be right there at your beck and call. That's between you and your higher power. Better figure it out. Go to a meeting, call another friend, go for a walk, regulate, Google it, like do something, cry, release, remind yourself, repeat, I'm safe. I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm okay. Your brain will make you behave however you speak. So, but yeah, once I wound up going like, damn, I'm really tired of making the same mistakes over and over again. I'm tired. I hit that wall where I was like, I'm done. I want something better. And then I had to force myself in those times where like for me, one of my repeat patterns is when I'm close to the next level of success, I can start dating and I'm feeling myself. Everything's good. The work's working. Hey, I'm looking good. I'm out. I'm stepping out. And I'll start dating and I'll date someone that I know is not emotionally available. Because for me, I'm very career oriented and career driven. I need to give back. I need legacy. I need to help the world. It's a big part of me. So sometimes I can trick myself into dating someone that is like, oh, I'm really career oriented and I'm, not looking, I don't really have much to give for dating. And I'm kind of like, well, and I know better, but they're cute.
Fun to talk to. They got some interesting hobbies or like something's going for them.
And every now and again, it'll come back in. But my biggest thing has been like when I'm around someone and my intuition picks it up. Because my intuition can pick it up a little bit faster. I can feel it where I'm like, ooh, this person just said something or moved in a way where like my stomach went,
yeah.
And so for me, it's been like, white knuckling it sometimes, right? But going like, I don't want this experience anymore. I know what happens if I date this person.
Yeah.
And I really want a better life. I want to feel good. If I don't feel good, and I've done enough work to know, like, let me flip it. Let me reframe it. Let me feel like but this situation makes me feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to make me manifest more situations that make me have to work too hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to let this go. And that, and that's when it was like, yeah, okay. And the universe was like, there you go. Finally. I'm like,
all right. We've been, talking a lot about limiting beliefs in the subconscious mind. So my next question, I want to just ask you, like, what is the subconscious mind and how it works, how that's different from the conscious mind, and just want to reflect back on what you were just sharing. And I feel like what I'm hearing is, like, you don't know what you don't know sometimes. If you're just starting to date, if it could be at any age, any stage of life, like a part of this, as we were talking about a moment ago, is getting that experience, that trial and error, using dating to figure out what you like, what you don't like, who's available in your neighborhood, in your community, what kind of dates do you like to go on? Do you like the apps? Do you not like the apps? So using dating as an experiential process, but then also when you start recognizing those patterns that you're repeating of thought, of behavior, it's like being able to trust your intuition, or if you feel like you can't trust your intuition, you can't determine or decipher your intuition from anxiety. Okay, then going back to that checklist, more or less, of what it is you're looking for. How do you want to feel in a relationship? How do you want to be treated? How do you want to treat yourself in dating? Where's the self-sabotage coming in? And so I feel like what I see and observe, and I've noticed this in myself too, of why it's so hard to take our own advice, is because we may know what's best for us, but our belief in ourself isn't always at the same level of our ideas, or our self-belief isn't at the same level of what we want, our desires, our needs, our goals.
Exactly.
And I mean, God, I'm working through this every single freaking day, Natalie, and I'm exhausted in my flirt coach stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
oh yeah.
I'm still working through those blocks, those limiting beliefs, where it's, in some ways, I continue to keep myself small because my belief has not exactly grown at the same pace as Flirtations, as my social media, as my coaching, right? And so I see that happen in dating and relationships too, where you could have the perfect match in front of you, someone that's the unicorn. I just saw the Materialist recently, right? Like a really good, viable partner.
Yeah.
But if you aren't ready to receive that, if you don't feel like you're deserving of it, then it might be really difficult.
Exactly. So I had the same thing where it was like, that was the frustrating part, was we have our own like experiences and then our own like issues with self-worth, right? Mm-hmm. And we have work to do. Yeah. It doesn't make us less of a coach at all. It's just that if you're not human, if you don't go through things, then it just makes you self-righteous and spiritually bypassing anyway. Mm-hmm. That's like ridiculous. So part of what I'm doing now too is, let's say I date someone or I feel some type of way, I'll identify my limiting beliefs. Like one of them was like, secretly I felt like I wasn't allowed to have good things, but everyone else was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I do is I write them out and I write down the limiting belief, and then I do a journal entry, because journaling is free association. When you journal and you just write and you don't stop to think, turn this off, turn off the chatter. This doesn't matter. Your arm is connected to your brainstem, which is connected to your subconscious. So in psychology, we call it free association. You just ask yourself a question, and then you're like, and then you start writing. And what you're going to do is, like, let's say for me, it's like, I don't feel like I'm allowed to have what I want and everyone else is. So what I do is I find out, brain, when is the first time that seed got planted? Because I was not born with that thought. So our subconscious mind is formed from the ages of 2 to 10 up to 14. And then if you have any other major traumas, but again, it really kind of coincides with this, because even if you have a trauma later, but your subconscious mind is, quite solid and it's already done some work, then that trauma doesn't, shake up things too much. Yeah. Okay. It just might mean that you're like, I got to do extra stuff over here, but I'm okay. So the subconscious mind is, what did I learn when I was a kid and how did I receive and take in information? It's not our fault at all. It's just our subconscious mind was like, you're not safe in this environment. You need to people please in order to be okay. And that's okay. These are also later on, you're going to find out what your core values are because of it, who the best people are because of it, what your life purpose is because of it. So it has a purpose. But I find out like, okay, when is the first time that seed got planted that I didn't feel good enough to have what I want, but other people are allowed to have what they want? And I journal and I find out that, oh man, when I was a kid, my brother was sick and in the hospital and he got really spoiled. And I kind of got left to my own devices because I would read and I would just kind of be off to myself. And so I would watch as my brother would, like anything he wanted, he got. And then I got, to the wayside. So my pattern in dating has been choosing people who don't even choose themselves, who choose other people, who choose other things, who are, just far gone, who can't see me because they can't even see themselves. And so once I identify that and I realize where it comes from, I do like a little hypnosis trick. I go back to that memory, I breathe, it takes like 5 minutes. And I go into that memory and I flip it. I yell at my mom, I yell at my dad. I spoiled the shit out of me. I hold me. I let them know what's going on because our bodies and our brains don't understand time. Time is a social construct. That's what that means. So when something is happening in real time today, you go out with that guy, you do that date, you talk to your friend, but your friend is kind of cruel and mean, and you feel something, your brain and your body actually think that memory, that core memory from when you were a kid is getting activated. So you're going to behave right now how you did when you were a kid in order to survive. Because the only way to survive back then was to act out, to scream, to repeat it, to hurt, to bleed, to whatever. Because you were looking for someone to see you, to nurture you. So today I write out like, okay, what did I need back then instead? So that means what do I need today? So I needed to be heard. I needed to feel special. I needed to feel important. I needed to feel a little bit spoiled too. And I needed to feel like I matter. So I go and I take myself out on a date. I go and I meet my emotional needs first. That way I'm a vibrational match for someone to meet my needs.
Okay.
That's how I started flipping it and doing it.
This is really, really helpful. And once I started to learn the differences and just, how the subconscious mind works and how it's different and has different functions than the conscious mind, it's like what you're describing is, because I'm sure you hear the T word all the time in your work, being triggered. Right?
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
All the time.
It's this an extreme emotional reaction to an external stimuli that maybe is not on par with what has actually happened. So it could be, in dating, right? You get a match on an app, seems like the conversation's going well and the person ghosts. Or maybe you had the first date and you feel like it went really well and then like, oh, they didn't text me back, or why aren't they reaching out? Or they said they weren't feeling the connection. They didn't feel a spark or something like that. And ultimately, like, this is someone you maybe have never even met, or someone you've only met one time. Why am I having such an extreme emotional reaction to what's happening? Well, in your subconscious mind, right, this is similar or parallels an experience that you've had in an earlier part of your life, in childhood and adolescence, that you're now re-experiencing in the present moment as an adult. But like you said, the brain doesn't understand time as a linear process like that. You're going to experience it as if you were 8 years old, 10 years old, right? And our experiences compound over time as well. So why might it be so extreme? Well, if you've been rejected or felt like you weren't good enough, or you've been abandoned, or you were ignored, right? Like, these experiences, they build on top of one another and can lead to lots of emotions when something at the end of the day, just so-and-so, like whoever didn't text you back after one date or didn't feel a spark.
Oh, that one still hurts me.
Yeah, it does.
But it doesn't last.
Right. It doesn't.
I go, ooh, because that's something where I'm like, it'll trigger one of the wounds of like, I'm not important, or I did something wrong.
Yeah.
There's still one in me that goes, there's still one in me that'll go, I did something wrong and someone doesn't like me and someone's mad at me. My whole life was around people like that. But like you said, it doesn't last. It's over pretty. Wow. That one used to be like, oh my God, I'm going to stalk you and I'm going to try and figure you out and I'll pull you back. Now I can get an ex back. I can teach other people how to get an ex back. I can get someone's attention. I can go in and I can distract myself and pull you back into my life. Yeah. But guess what happens? when you pull someone back into your life who's like toxic as shit, who's not a good person, who's not emotionally available, or maybe they are a good person, but they're just not ready, or they're not your person, well, you're about to basically hold on to razor blades and hurt yourself. Yeah. And you're going to find out why that person was like, the universe was trying to do for you what you couldn't do for yourself. Because here's the boundary. I don't want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with me.
There you go.
So you create boundaries around this. I'll still feel some type of way. If I go out on a date with someone and I really liked them and we didn't, they didn't write me. Yeah. I'm like,
yeah, I'm going to feel some type of way too. But it's not like
a day or 3 days.
Yes. I used to do that thing where I would review past conversations on an app or text or DMs. I'm stalking them. I'm looking, oh my God, what are they posting? Are they online?
Yes.
I'm talking to my friends. I'm calling my mom, right? I'm like, oh my God, what do you think this means? What happened? Am I not good enough? Am I not important? Like, did they not like me? What did I do wrong? I've had that similar experience too. Feeling like I did something wrong. And one of the things about the subconscious mind, it's also responsible for breathing, our heart rate, these things are blinking, right?
Yes.
Even we're eating, something really delicious. We're having our morning coffee or afternoon coffee, whatever. And we're like swallowing like, oh, this tastes so good. A lot of these physical things our body does that's our subconscious mind keeping us alive.
Yeah. Right? Subconscious rules about like 80% of you. It's all your behaviors. It's your automatic responses. So like you said, yes, everyone gets triggered. The world that we see it today, right? You have a lot of people that are triggered. Both sides, everyone is triggered. Everyone is ruled by emotions. Every single person. Men, you're ruled by emotions too.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. It's just which ones you're allowed to show and share. In showcase, we all have triggers. However, it's our responsibility to de-trigger ourselves. Otherwise, you will become the pain that hurt you. You will become the thing that caused you harm because that's what happens. Or you'll keep dating it or keep being around it.
Let's switch gears just, a little bit and ask this question, which came through a few times. And some of the flirties are wanting to know how to, they feel like they're developing some self-trust within themselves, beginning to understand more their intuition versus their anxiety, their patterns, right? Those manifestations of their subconscious minds, maybe where they're acting out of trauma perhaps versus truth. And so, all right, so the question is, how do I trust, when do I tune out feedback? And versus what do I know is maybe good for me, good information? Because there's a lot out there. I feel like I'm being pulled in many directions about what's good, what's bad. Do this, don't do that. How do I just begin to filter it out a little bit or filter through?
Yeah, start small and start first by making a promise to yourself and then keeping it. And don't punish yourself if you don't. Just get back on the thing. It's just going to help just for a little bit. Like if you're like, you know what, today I want to go for a walk. Just keep that promise to yourself. If you're like, I want to be in bed by 11 p.m., just make sure your ass is just jump in that bed. But it's a small little promise, right? That's just going to help instill in you that you can. And then 2 is, the next is start to pay attention to, before you call someone for advice, breathe and ask yourself if you really need it or if you're just in a repeat pattern of making someone else your higher power or making someone else have power over you.
Okay.
And why you're scared to make mistakes, right? Yeah. Okay. It's really just a fear of making mistakes. What you want to do is you can start playing with learning to listen to your intuition, but the fear isn't like, oh no, it is a fear. It's not like, oh, I can't trust myself. It's more about like, I'm scared to do it, right? I'm scared of something bad happening. So go small and kind of learn to go, okay, I'm going to date this person. I don't know if it's a good person or not, but I'm just going to go out on this date and then I'm going to go home and I'm going to write out like, did I notice anything that I liked or that I didn't like? Are there anything in there that like I didn't necessarily like, and like write that out. And then you can start identifying, did I feel that? Was there a ping? Did I like this? Is this just like, am I excusing anything? And like, let yourself experiment and be the experiment. Like learn to just practice and play and get curious. Curiosity bypasses threat monitoring. Okay. So that was my biggest thing is I had a tendency to call friends and constantly ask for everyone else to tell me what to do. But when you're constantly doing what other people tell you to do, you're not actually going to learn what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So it's going to hit that time of like, just turn and face it. Okay. Start to learn to analyze that yourself. And then after you've analyzed it, you could take it to a friend a friend that you trust that's empowering.
Yes.
And then you can work it out and go, girl, this is what I was thinking. I did this date. I think I'm in a repeat pattern. He kind of sounded like my dad, but he was nicer. But I think that I'm going to go on one more date because I think he was good. He said that he's emotionally available and he's done the work. So I'm going to try. But like, you know, am I missing anything? I think it's this. That way you're come to the table with some assessments. Start to practice that. And then that way it's like training wheels.
Yes.
That way you're not just relying on other people to tell you what to do. Because if you keep doing what other people tell you to do, you're not going to learn to try things out and for yourself, fuck around and find out and have some fun. All you're going to train your brain to do is consistently go to other people and be codependent.
Yeah, that's so true. And this, I'm glad you mentioned, fear here. I love when fear comes up on Flirtations, and this fear of getting it wrong, of making mistakes, of even failure, right? But ultimately it's the making the mistakes part. Like, we just have such a fear of being cringe, right? Or embarrassing ourselves, but it's like, how else are we supposed to learn?
Fear doesn't go away. Courage and confidence comes in spite of and because of fear.
Yes.
Because you're just tired of doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same results. So you just kind of go, you know what? All right, bestie or whoever or therapist, hold my hand. I'm going to do this thing. I'm scared, but I'm going to do this thing. I used to have to have someone sit by me or just be on Zoom with me as I did a couple resumes and sent them out because I was scared of something new. I didn't need them to do it for me.
Right.
Just sometimes I was like, just be here. I just need you here. Just be here. Now I'm going to do it and send it off. Okay, I did the scary thing, right? But face up. How you can do it is write out the things that you really want to do and the things that really move your heart that you want in life. I want a solid relationship. I want good people around me. I want solid friendships. I want a good career. I want to make this. And then if you need someone to sit by you as you swipe on some apps, okay. If you need someone to sit by you as you type out some things, okay. But then eventually you can start to just go, confidence and courage is not the absence of fear. It's just diving in and knowing that you're going to be okay because you're going to get that experience. How many bad relationships have you been in? And you're okay.
You're okay.
You're okay.
So
don't get me wrong. Some of us have been through some gnarly ones.
Yeah.
Might not have. But
all of us probably at least one, but not anymore. We can change all of that beginning today. I've got just two more questions for you as we start to conclude the conversation. This one, I've learned doing this show that sometimes it's giving the advice, right? Yes, you can do it. You can do it. And then as we were talking about a little bit earlier in practice, not always as easy as it seems, or we take a few steps forward and then many steps back, perhaps. We think we're doing great. We're healing. We're finding ourselves in the relationship, right? We said yes to ourselves, yes to someone else. We're being vulnerable. And then the T word, right? Our triggers are coming back up again. And so for the flirties listening, I just want to give them maybe a tip, a piece of insight, something they can have when they're having that experience of wait, I've been doing all this work. This is so hard. And here I am again.
Yeah. First of all, you're human. You don't get out of being feeling some type of way about shit, especially if it's dumb or bad. If someone or something or a situation is shit, you're going to feel it. Period. You don't get to be love and light and float up above the clouds because that's called spiritual bypassing. And the ones that spiritually bypass, they go, anchor's a low vibration. They are so effing afraid of emotions that they gaslight people. They gaslight marginalized communities. They gaslight. So I'm here to burst their bubbles and bring them back down because that shit is just gaslighting. And that's impossible. That's disassociation. You can meditate and disassociate by doing it. So that's a fear of actually feeling and having the human experience. So I'm sorry, but you're not going to get out of the human experience, nor should you, because the more that you can feel your body and feel those emotions, all of them, and you flow with them.
Yeah.
And you're like, ooh, today I thought I was going to feel good, but I'm a little depressed right now because I saw something I didn't like. So let me like feel that. Because the reason why is if you deny your human experience and you deny your emotions, you're accidentally going to deny and gaslight the people around you. Mm-hmm. So we don't get to do that anymore. We get to feel. Yes. So number one is be less afraid of the shadow. You're going to experience jealousy, insecurity, rage, envy, especially when you are out of alignment. Your emotions are there to indicate to you when you are around someone bad, when you are in a situation that sucks, mm-hmm. or when something is shitty, or when you are out of alignment. Mm-hmm. If you haven't rested in a while, you're going to feel up and you're going to get burnt out. Sorry. Your body is designed, your emotions, your behaviors are designed to give you indications of when you're off or when you're around someone who's off. You need it.
Yeah. So
number two is start to have a better relationship with your shadow. And that's actually how we ascend. That's Ascension Masters, is when you actually fall in love with the parts of you that like, oh, I'm experiencing sadness. Oh, I'm experiencing anxiety. Let me get curious and see what's going on here. Right? Oh, and the triggers. Okay.
Yeah.
No, and then this is a big one. Everyone right now, Google grounding techniques for PTSD or for anxiety. Google grounding techniques. Mm-hmm. Step one, when you have a trigger, don't do anything. Don't open your mouth. Don't send a fucking email. The first thing that you want to do is you need your body and your mind regulated to feel safe. Mm-hmm. So the moment you have a trigger, don't send the email, don't send the text, do a grounding technique, 3 deep breaths into your stomach. When you're anxious, you're in rapid, shallow breath. Mm-hmm. You're in amygdala. You're in fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. Mm-hmm. So you're only going to do one of those 4 things. You're going to people please. You're going to fight with someone. You're going to read the email incorrectly. You're in a trauma response. Yeah. Go regulate.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Then when your nervous system is back to regulated, then you can do the next right indicated action. It'll come more easily.
Yes. Or come to one of my yoga classes as well. I cue grounding stuff all the freaking time. Gosh, how many grounding cues I do in a 60-minute class, who knows? But it's so important because, we live in our heads, right?
I know, exactly.
We're a Vata society. Deranged Vata society.
Seriously. And yoga will help you too with if you're going consistently, then during the day, you're naturally breathing. Yeah. Because you've been doing that breath work and you've been in your body and movement that naturally throughout the day, you'll imbue things that yoga teaches us.
Yeah. So good. This has been wonderful. Thank you for being on Flirtations today. I just got one final thing for you, and that is about your coaching with the fellas.
Yeah.
I thought it could be interesting to end on that note, as you are primarily working with dudes, with men, giving them some coaching with their dating lives, their relationships, just their lives in general as well. And so more and more guys are coming into the flirt community, which I love. And the ladies dating the men are looking for them.
Yes.
So
I do coach women too, but I do have a tendency to market towards men because there's a gap. There's a gap there for
definitely
good information for men out there. There's a lot of just toxicity and sometimes guys can't talk to other guys because.
So a message for the fellas out there dating, they're starting to date someone. How can they just be more present in their relationships?
Breath work. As crazy as that sounds, practice this. When you're on the date or when you're approaching, take 3 deep breaths into your stomach. And as you're talking to the person, breathe into your stomach. It's going to get you fast out of your head and out of that, what do I do? What do I say? Because the moment you start going into your head is when we are no longer in that moment. So how to get back to her or to the person or to the guy, whoever you're dating, is you just, you look at the person, you go, you know what? I'm really curious about this person. I want to get to know this person.
Okay.
Curiosity bypasses threat monitoring. Okay. So when we get anxious and nervous, that's okay. Take a breath. So it's actually going to help your sex drive. It does everything. That's the big one.
All right.
Then after that, get with someone to work on any limiting beliefs, insecurities. Like I said, I have a whole team around me. I don't do this thing alone. That's insane. So, I work with people to help with permanent results I do that. I get to pass that on. But I work with people that help me with like reframing my negative belief systems, overcoming anything that I'm afraid of, stepping into my power, like picking better, choosing better. So work with someone so that you can really see, oh, okay. And friends are good, but if you can work with a coach who's good and doesn't gaslight or put people down. There's so many bad coaches out there.
There are a lot,
Even there's some coaches, and I love them to death, but like they still give bad information that accidentally makes women look bad or men look bad. And I'm like, oh, guys.
Yeah,
come on,
I feel that. I feel that as well. I feel like part of our work is just getting people to see the validity of coaching as a practice and a career, and what it is we actually do. Because there's a lot of people that call themselves coaches and just woke up one day like, oh, let's try this, right? Which they could do. It's not like you have to have necessarily a formal degree to call yourself a coach, but we would hope there is some degree of training, certification, education, something there.
Yeah. Check the credentials of the people
credentials.
And it's also in the way that they speak, but essentially it's like find someone that's going to tell you the truth and help you hold yourself accountable, but also isn't going to like paint every single person as toxic that you date, or they're breadcrumbing you, or they're manipulating you. Because if you start in that frame of like, everyone's out to get me and everyone sucks and I need to like figure them out, oh my God, it's going to take you a lot longer.
Well,
all it is with
that, you be careful with that kind of language just from coaches, but also from people you date, because what they're doing is trying to just little bits at a time diminish your self-worth, diminish your self-confidence, make you question yourself, right? And then who do you need in those times of need when you're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? What do I do? What am I thinking? You go back to the very person that made you feel that way. Yeah.
Exactly. So everyone is a mirror to your subconscious. Everyone and everything that you see is a mirror to your subconscious. So if you don't like what you see, then just you work with someone and get internal and change the channel. That's it. And I promise you'll see things differently.
And come work with Natalie. This is the time now. Where can the Flirties find you, follow you, work with your programs? You mentioned a 30-day, a 90-day. Check out the socials. Yes, I'd love to share all of that with the Flirties now.
Yes. So you can find me lovecoach247.com. And then on my Instagram, I've got 2 Instagrams. I've got my main one. I'm very political on there. So heads up already. But I've got Natalie.Stavola is my coaching one. That's just coaching. And then Natalie Stavola is where you can find me. I'm mostly on Natalie Stavola. I'll be honest. I'm mostly on that one. But you can just click the links on there as well too. Get a strategy call. See if my coaching is right for you. I do neuro-linguistic programming. NLP.
Fantastic.
So I'm like a Tony Robbins meets Hitch.
Yes.
So we do focus on career and dating, because why not? Why not get the life and the love life of your dreams? It doesn't.
Well, yes.
Why not make more money? So all my clients wind up making more money because we find that the issues that you have going on in dating very simultaneous with the ones that you have in career. So we just pop and break those and make you more money, get your time back, and get you dating the right people.
Heck yeah, because you know this. Dating doesn't exist in a vacuum, right? Our relationships,
right?
Like everything is connected.
Everything's connected. If you don't feel worthy in partnerships, you're gonna feel the same way in career, and there's gonna be times where you're underpaying, getting underpaid, or like not stepping in your worth because of it. So once we break one and we break a limiting belief on one, the other one just like whoop, that takes off more too. So all my clients wind up, making more money, having a better life, doing all that because it's
sold. I'm going to have all of your links in the show notes below for this episode. Natalie Stavola, thank you so much for being on Flirtations today. This was amazing.
I loved it. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, Flirties, that's a wrap on this episode of Flirtations, the Subconscious Mind episode of the program. Thank you so much to Natalie Stavola for coming on the show today. To learn more about Natalie, follow her work with Natalie as a coach. Some great links for you in the show notes below for this episode. Thank you so much, Natalie, for being on the show today. And thank you to the Flirties for being here, for checking out this conversation, for being a part of this show that is Flirtations, wherever you are in the world. I hope you got some great takeaways, some great insights from the conversation today. And thank you so so much for being here. Please rate, review, subscribe to the show if you haven't already. If you have, thank you so much. Please share this episode or another favorite episode of Flirtations with someone you want to share some BFE, big flirt energy with. Okay, keeping it short and sweet today. Signing off officially here at Flirt Headquarters. My name is Benjamin. I'm the Flirt Coach and Gay Libra Flirty. Happy flirting.